Up Ice by Jay. Let's go.
Okay, it's recording.
All
So
right.
you can go, but you do need to speak directly into the mic,
Cool.
just because that angle doesn't sound too
Okay. Let me know about now. And then also, can I see
good.
that
Yeah.
camera? Okay. What it? All right. Dang. Let me see my hair. Eee.
You like it?
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
Okay.
All right. Not one on. All right, guys. So we'll just jump right into it. We already got some questions going on. First of all, shout out to y'all for tuning in with me. I really appreciate it. Also, shout out to Infinite Productions, for hosting me out here week after week. Go live with y'all, create some content and whatnot. But let's go into some of these questions. We got India in the building. Casey Lawn, let's go. Slater, Silver Bullet. So, homie asked about card processing. So, for card processing, there's so many different ways you can collect payments through a card. Obviously, Square is the most popular one that barbers get into. The second most popular one would be your booking app. So if you have a booking app, 9 times out of 10, that booking app processes your cards for you or your payments for you if you have a booking app. So you can use your booking app, Square, and those are going to be the most easiest to use. As far as the cheapest, for the most part, one, if you want to add a credit card fee, the way you do that, because a lot of people will say it's illegal to add a fee to use credit cards. It's and if it is technically, what I see a lot of places doing is they actually add the process card fee automatically, and then if you pay cash, they say they give you a discount. So if they do this at the taco place by my work. So if it's $2 taco, they'll give you 10 cents off if you pay cash or whatever. You know what I mean? Because you're not using that credit card fee. So they call it a cash discount. But yeah, so basically use Square, your booking app. There's a whole bunch of other places. And if you own a barbershop, sometimes you'll have sales guys come in and say, hey, how much are you paying for your processing fees? We could do better, blah, blah, blah. But for me, it's going to be whatever's easier. So, easiest for me. And because a lot of those guys that come in, they're going to give you that big, bulky, old school credit card processor, just save you a couple bucks. So those are what I use for credit card processing. A lot of times I ask if they could just not use credit card. I like to use, I tell them to use Cash App because I don't get any fees off Cash App unless you instantly get the money, which I never do. I can wait a couple of days, and I don't really get fees like that, or I'll just ask to pay cash or Apple Pay for me, and as long as your account, works for me. Some accountants and stuff like that will tell you don't have to kind of narrow down the incoming money from your business. But hey, that's what you pay your bookkeepers for, to sift through all that bullshit. So that's what I do. It's like, oh well, as long as you're counting all my money, just do it, even if you charge me a little more, because I have like 30 different places that money are coming in from. Oh, Stripe. I forgot to mention Stripe. You can use a credit card processor through Stripe, and also Stripe is going to work with your Shopify account if you have a Shopify store. Why would you have a Shopify store? Because that is a great form of income that you can add to your barbering. You can sell barber products, you can sell hair products, you can sell merch for your own brand. I always highly recommend all barbers get their own Shopify and turn that into a source of income. It's about $40 a month. So as long as you're making over $40 a month off selling products, that's all a little extra cash flow, and that shit adds up. Every dollar counts. Shout out Casey Lawn buying some badges. Let's see. Next Barber Expo will be March of next year. So be on the lookout. We'll be dropping some stuff probably here pretty soon. What reasons would you not want to work in a barbershop? Right now in Texas, it is so fucking hot that if a barbershop's AC didn't work that good, I'm not fucking working in that AC. And also, everybody, y'all check on y'all's barbers who are cutting right now in these busy shops, because no matter how good the AC works, that door going open and close and having a bunch of bodies inside of a shop like that, everybody's sweating and dying. It's 105 plus every day in San Antonio, Texas, and in Texas, period. And we're hot. So check on your barbers who are out here cutting in this. Even though we ain't working outside, it don't matter. That door opening and closing, 20 plus people in the shop at all times, all that, body heat. It is hot. So that's a reason I wouldn't want to work in a barbershop. Is if it's too fucking hot. I work by myself in a shop and I'm fucking hot. It's real out here right now. Another reason I wouldn't want to work in a shop is I honestly am, I gotta be around, positive individuals, man. I can't be around negative individuals. And it's crazy because you can have a shop of 10 barbers. If one of them is negative, that's a cancer to the whole shop, and it can affect everybody in a negative way. And the thing about me is I always say I don't let the energy in the room influence me. I like to influence the energy in the room. But at the same time, day in and day out, you got this negative motherfucker next to you all the time or around you all the time. I don't want to have to fight this negativity every day. I don't want to have to counteract this negativity all day. So I'm real protective of my energy. So I'll be damned if I'm letting somebody have their negative energy around me on a day-to-day basis, especially when I'm trying to create. I'm trying to do, my passion, my art, and my business. And there's this fucking Debbie Downer every day. I'm not going to be up in that shop. What is another reason I wouldn't want to work in a barbershop? Basically just that. Other than that, as long as it's vibes, as long as it has a clean environment, professional environment, and, like-minded individuals, should be good to go. What up? I can't say that name, but it's LMLAVIGN Barber. Cherry become one of my favorite barbers. My lines ups, some moves, some movie. Do you prefer to fade up or down? I fade both up and down. Start the fade, fading up, taking off the bulk. And after I clean off all that bulk, then I'm gonna, which is kind of like fading down. And then after I take off all that bulk, then I'm gonna fade up into the 2 guard that I use to debulk. So it's a little of both. I have a video about this. If I wasn't barbering, what would I be doing? I would be doing, I'd probably own a car detailing company, a landscaping company, for sure, flipping houses, wholesaling real estate, open a food truck, snow cone truck, It would never end, but I definitely, or also, honestly, if I wasn't barbering, I would try to get into photography, production, stuff like that. Just photography or videography, period. I know personally that there's a lack of hardworking videographers, photographers, and editors. There is definitely a lack of that at least in San Antonio. Any given day I have an event that I need, some work done at. I only know 3 people high quality that I can call. And those 3 people, one of them might be booked, 2 of them might be booked. So the fact that there's only 3 people that I know I could get super good quality at when I have a last minute event, whatever, that just lets me know that there's like a lack of good videographers, photographers, graphic designers, and then obviously maybe some kind of drop shipping something. I'd build a brand around something, no matter what it was. But luckily, I love barbering, and yeet. Let's see. No one's ever sneezed and messed up a cut while I was cutting their hair. What advice would you give to any new business owner to get more customers? One thing, a little piece of, advice that's been regurgitated over and over again, but I like it and it really sticks with me, is people buy from people they like. So when you're a small business owner, especially if it's something in the terms of barbering and you're the face of your brand, then, people are going to buy from who they want to buy from. And so just make sure that you're being, always remember to be relatable. I think small business, one thing I know for sure that I always see is like sometimes people become unrelatable because they want to be too I don't know how to explain it. What I'm saying is some people get success, start being successful, and then want to, promote themselves as a super ultra entrepreneur that is super successful and all this stuff. Well, you got to understand, you're going to start losing your audience because it's not relatable to your audience anymore. And what made you successful was that initial audience. And yeah, there is levels to stuff, so you got to find new audiences and whatnot. But at the end of the day, there's super successful people that are still super relatable. I feel like Ryan Pineda is really successful. He can still target high ticket customers, super high ticket customers, but still be relatable to somebody that is not rich as well, that maybe can follow his journey to get to the point where they are one of his high ticket customers. But, he still stays relatable because he hones in on the side hustle, and every little person can always relate to the side hustle. And he always gives out a lot of gems about side hustles, couch flipping, a lot of, stuff like that. So he still stays relatable to his customers. And I think that's a big deal. You never want to be like too Hollywood or too far gone to where you can't even relate to the industry. That's why I come on here and try to vibe with y'all, because y'all do see all these reels I put out where I'm just like doing this and I answer the questions. But at the end of the day, we're just barbers out here just having a good time, you know what I'm saying? Vibing. And at the end of the day, I am just a barber. And, I feel like sometimes people, just because I have a following, think that it means anything to me. And it honestly really doesn't. I just feel like I'm still one of y'all. I mean, this weekend I went to go see my homie Tank at a class. I had hired Tank out to come to the 5-Star Barber Expo and do a class on haircutting. This weekend, he actually did a class in Fort Worth on social media. I traveled all the way over there and went and took part in this class. And guess what? I learned like two big things that I'm going to implement into my... Sorry, I got a call, so I don't know if that messed up my life. But I'm going to implement these things that I learned at that class into my... Because you can always learn from somebody. You're never too Hollywood. You know what I mean? So... Homies tagging Faded Industries a lot, so... Shout out to y'all. Thanks, Ed. I know I don't always articulate myself all the way, but I'm just winging this shit, and I want to give y'all the best answers possible without, Our AC just got fucked up in Florida. It's cold today in California, bro. That's why Californians are soft. You know what I'm saying? Because we out here just surviving in Texas, dude. Right when you walk outside in Texas, you literally get just straight squared punched right in the face by the heat. Like a blow away from just getting knocked the fuck out by this Texas heat. It's, you know, we always complain about it every year. And I've lived here my whole life, so I've dealt with this Texas heat my whole life. But this is not the same heat that we was playing outside in when I was little. And, you know, it is fucking hot. Like, I'm done with the lake, bro, because it is even hot out there. Even if you're in the water, like, you cannot escape this heat. And we out here surviving. And we're way more tougher out here just in general because it's fucking hot. Tips for entering a barber battle. Tip number 1, invest in your model. A thing I do a lot is I don't invest in my model when I go compete. I just always pick somebody out of the audience and whatever. The times I have invested in a model, I've won or placed, you know? So I know that makes a big deal to invest in your model. Not only their hair type to make sure it's going to be the best type of fade style, whatever you want to do, but also just in their overall appearance, whether, you know, they're presentable, whether it be like a suit or if you're ever going for a theme, dress them up, whatever. So invest in your model. That's one tip for entering a barber battle. Another tip will be make sure that you have all your stuff. Sometimes when you're rushing to pack stuff, you forget something, and that something can make a huge deal in the final outcome of your haircut. So if I forget blades, if I forget talc, and I have my duster, but you know, we got all sweaty on stage and I just can't get all that hair off, final presentation is going to look off. I do suggest talc because no matter how AC the place is or, well, you know, the temperature control is at a place, you're definitely going to sweat when you're competing, you and your models. But make sure you have talc so you can get all that hair off them and keep their hair real dry and their head real dry so that, you know, you don't, that's a huge thing that always happens. Another thing, lighting. If you want to invest in your own lighting in case the place doesn't have the best lighting, you know, you could use a headlamp or something. And another thing is just make sure all your tools are clean. And, you know, if you want to practice the cut before, like, make sure it's not your first time ever doing this haircut if you're going to do something, you know, really extravagant. I'm 23 and organizing my second annual Barber Expo. Any tips? 1, I will consult you on a Barber Expo. I get this question all the time about helping somebody throw their own Barber Expo. I definitely am down to consult anybody to do their own Barber Expo in their own city. You know, whether it be there's so many, you know, small things that go into it that people overlook. And I definitely have like a checklist, and, you know, now that I've abided by that for 3 years, it's, you know, working for me, and I can definitely consult you in that. Any tips would be just like I said, make sure the small details are being hashed out. And this is a huge thing this is just my personal opinion, but if make sure you invest in a stage if you're going to throw a Barber Expo. I understand maybe your first or second one, you're just kind of trying to budget friendly on your Barber Expo, but just make sure that you're investing in a stage for your Barber Expo, because the one thing that will make me lose respect for a Barber Expo is if they don't have a stage, the barbers to compete on, because they're paying to showcase their work, you know, and anybody can showcase at any of the booths. So, I mean, I don't know. I think a stage is very important at a Barber Expo. And I think it makes a huge difference when barbers have an efficient stage to compete on, because that's what they want. You can't tell barbers, come compete on the big stage, and then you ain't even got a stage. You done throw them in a little ring. Feels like they're in the WWE battling it out, which some barbers don't care, which is fine, but I guess they're there for the cash prize at the end of the day. But put barbers on a stage and put some respect on barber battles. Also, like, the reason people won't respect our industry is if we throw like a lot of hole in the wall expos or exhibitions or competitions. So you're never gonna see a cosmetology show ghetto, like, ever. I mean, if there's one, I want to go to it. I want to go to a ghetto cosmetology hair show. I personally don't think there's really like any, versus like we could go to a super hole in the wall barber battle or, you know, barber show, and there's a cash prize, but then you take your client there and your client's like, bro, why you bring me to the hood? Or, you know, why you, and that's going to be controversial. But if we got to raise the bar of the way expos, barber battles, the industry is perceived, we got to invest into better, you know, venues, stages for barbers, stuff like that. So I would say just make sure that, you know, there's definitely barbershop battles, which I feel like is a whole separate little thing. It's kind of like an underground thing, which I can respect that too. But don't throw expo on your name and you're like super hood. Then that, because then if I took my client to go compete at this barber expo, it had a nice flyer, and then I go and it's not well organized, ghetto, whatever the case may be, my client is embarrassed, and I'm embarrassed that I took my client there. And then that shows that the barbering industry is like low level, like kind of trash. So that's all I got to say about that. I feel like Forrest Gump telling a story. And that's all I got to say about that. If a new client comes in with acne on their head and you cut their hair to a skin fade with your electric shaver, how do you disinfect your clippers and shaver? You disinfect it just like everything else. You use clipper side on your clippers. It should kill all bacteria, all germs. The biggest thing is you have to make sure if you're using clipper side, Cool Care, any of that, it usually takes 10 minutes for it to kill germs. Remember that the wall disinfectant only takes 2 minutes. It's the fastest disinfectant you have. So unless you're taking 10 minutes in between each client, you're not fully sanitizing your clippers. Unless you use the wall, it does have 2-minute disinfectant time. Difference between that though is you will have to oil your own clippers after you disinfect them with the wall Clinic-Clip, that's what it's called, the wall Clinic-Clip. So it doesn't have the lube that the clipper side and all that has. So you got to make sure, because that Clinic-Clip will dry out your clippers if you're not oiling them properly. Versus you could kind of slack on oiling your shit if you're using like clipper side, any kind of level 3 clipper side Cool Care, because it does have a little bit of oil in there, but you still have to oil your clippers even with that. But that, any of the stuff we use is hospital grade sanitary things. So barber side, clipper side, and is gonna disinfect all your stuff. Also, make sure you're taking off your shaver head. You go wash it in the sink, and I mean, best way to network with others: 1, DMs. If you can't make it out to a show, DM your favorite barber. If you have any kind of one, you can just show them, hey, dude, I'm a barber too. I create content too. I love your work. Hopefully we run into each other one day. We could work together. Make sure you have, if you want to network with other barbers, you also have to have either opportunities for them or you want an opportunity from them. So you could shoot DMs. You could tag barbers in videos. This is the way to network on social media. 1, you could just straight up DM. Gary Vee preaches this all the time. Slide in DMs as much as you can. This is actually how a lot of celebrity barbers cut celebrities. They just slid in their DMs, and, you know, one day that celebrity needed a cut and saw that DM. You know, there's obviously other behind the scenes referrals, stuff like that to get those celebrity clients, but also you could tag other barbers in your reels. You could start a group chat with multiple barbers and create some kind of community within each other, and to network in person. Obviously at expos, 1, go introduce yourself, but also network with purpose. Like I said, if you're networking, you want to either create an opportunity for yourself from this company, or you have an opportunity for the person you're networking with. So just make sure you're focused in what you want to do. Even then, if you have the idea already, you're going to this company or this person, lay out what you have in mind for a relationship that could work with y'all. Make sure it's positive. Make sure it's, a win-win for both of y'all, and, go from there. So networking events, social media, DMs, whatever. And then also, you don't have to network at only barber events. You can network at any kind of business events, networking mixers for any field. That's a great thing about barbers that I stress so often, is that barbers can network with everybody, because we have a service to offer everybody, every single person on this earth. We have a service we can offer, and people buy from people they like. So maybe you meet somebody at a networking event that has nothing to do with barbering, and you're like, hey, I'm a barber, blah, blah, blah. Y'all follow each other on social media. They see that, they like your style, what you're doing. They might go to Great Clips their whole entire life. But now, because you've created this relationship with them, they're like, I'm going to go support Cherry. I'm going to go get my cut from her. I want to get a fresh cut for the first time in my whole life. I know where to go. So that's some networking ways to network. Good afternoon. If you accidentally nick your clients and make them bleed, how are you disinfecting your clippers right after? The same way, bro. Clipper side, cool care. This is, barbering 101, which is sanitation. This is really all school teaches you. I always say school doesn't teach you much about cutting hair. School definitely teaches you and instills in your brain about sanitation. When you take your state board test, at least here in Texas, the whole thing is based off sanitation for the most part. And so clipper side, cool care, cleaning clip, barber side, all these things disinfect. No matter if there's blood, no matter if there's fungus, no matter if there's anything, no matter if that blood has AIDS, just use the right disinfecting tools, and that's it. What hair clipper you found best to get rid of skin fade line? So the best thing to get rid of the skin fade line is, if you say skin fade, I'm assuming you're using a shaver. So the next to get the shaver line out is going to be the trimmer. There shouldn't really be a hard line on the skin fade, because you should be tapping it where the line is and getting it out with the shaver for the most part. And then from there, use a trimmer to get that line out. Trimmers I'm going to recommend to get the line out is going to be Wall Detailers or the Babyliss FX. From there, then you use your clipper to get that Sub-Zero line out. The best clippers I know to get trimmer lines out that are zero gap are going to be, for me, Magic Clips Seniors. And I like the Stylecraft Instincts, or I don't know if they're the Gamma Instincts. Those are cool. I just got those. I like those. But I don't like those as much as Magic Clipper Seniors, because I put a premium blade on my clippers. So the premium blade is going to be not the taper or fade blade. Those kind of come out and have a curve. I always make sure my blades are premium, flat, have little teeth. And that's going to get my bald fades and bald lines out. Hey, Steve, good luck on your competition next month. I'll be there. I'll see you there. Good luck. Tips. I did just share a bunch of tips for competing in your first Barber Expo. So just make sure you're investing in what I said. Any tips on getting back on track on a really busy day? Tips for getting back on track on a really busy day. One, you just got to hope that you have some fast cuts. Like, I know when I get behind, I know, like, okay, in an hour, I got a cut coming in, and they only take 15 minutes. So if I'm 15 minutes behind, they'll get me back on track. Other than that, cut faster, and I'm not sure if you want to elaborate on that question more. Love to invite you to X3 Blades Barber Expo. Love to have you as a judge. DM me if you want me as a judge or any promotion. Let me know. What is the main thing judges look for in a battle? One is going to be edge up, fade, stray hairs. Did you leave any stray hairs on the neck, behind the ear? Thorough haircut. So it's going to be edge up, fade, overall look with the, hairs, details, edge up, fade, style, and overall look. Those 5 things. I'll say it again. Main things judges look for in a barber battle: edge up, fade, detail, style, and overall look. Boom. Yes, I'll be at the Texas Barber Expo next month. Venezuela in the building. All right. Pedro. My dog Pedro. Hey, bro, I know you saw that TikTok where I was saying the best barber in Texas, in my opinion. Everybody was tagging you, dog. You got all that love on TikTok. Think he's cool. Viral on TikTok, dude. I bet you tagged your TikTok friends and you told them to all go tag you in that post. That's why they always tagging you. If you are running behind on clients, communicate with your other clients. Yeah, I just tell them, hey, I just wait till they come in, and I'm never running more than 15 minutes behind. And I give my clients a 15-minute grace period, so it ain't like the way barbers are like, oh, if I'm late, it's the end of the world. But if you're late, it's like, no, me, the barber, and you, the client, both get the same grace period. So, like, if I'm running behind, I just say I'm running a little bit behind. If it's more than 20 minutes, it's not. You just got to make sure you're on point. Yes, there's difficult people that will sometimes throw you way behind, but blame them. You know what I'm saying? If you're running hey, man, this guy, just blame your last client and then get it. I felt bad because I wasn't following none of them back. Yeah. That's how you got them to go comment. You're like, if you go comment that I'm the best barber in Texas, I'll go follow you back. All right. So this was another question from a comment. I got a little post-it, dude. So here we go. Oh, wait. Can you check my page? Give me a 6 presentation. I'm a 16-year-old training. Okay, cool. Wait. Okay. So someone said, what's the difference between old school and new school barbers? The 2 biggest differences, in my opinion, is 1, style. We didn't have the same styles in the old days as we do today. Old school barbers weren't doing Edgars. Old school barbers weren't doing a lot of mullets, bald fade mullets. A lot of old school barbers weren't doing color designs, color enhancement. So a lot of that's changed with the times. So one thing from old school, new school barbers is the style of cutting, the style they learned with, and all together. Second thing is gonna be social media. Barbers didn't have social media back in the old days to advertise. They did the old school word of mouth. That's how they did it. Also, there's substantially less barbershops around than today. I know when I was in high school, we had one barbershop on my whole entire side of town. There was like 3 dudes in there. I used to get cut by this dude, John Wayne, at Legends on the northeast side of San Antonio over there off of Judson. I remember homie came. This fool had a taper in a lineup. And he came up. He's like, dude, my shit's fresh or what? And I was like, all the homies were like, bro, where did you get that cut? We've been wanting a lineup, but all we had was Rios and Great Clips and Sports Cuts and Super Cuts. So that's all you had to do was tell us, and all the little clique went over there. So that's word of mouth right there. Nowadays, it's not oversaturated, but definitely saturated. And we have social media to promote ourselves, which is a huge, I would say, advantage. So those are the two main things I think from new school, old school barbers. Also, like, new school barbers are willing to adapt the old school barber ways, whether it be hot towel, the hot shave, the hot foam, little tiny, neck massage, whatever it is. They're willing to adopt that, but old school barbers are not willing to adopt new school ways. So I know a lot of old school barbers, and tell me if I'm lying, they don't raise their prices, but which I think is valid because they're not going to learn new styles either. So old school barbers will be booked all the time, and since they have that book clientele, they'll keep that book clientele forever because that's their comfort. That's their, they're consistent in that. It pays their bills. They live their life off that clientele, $25 a cut, and they don't necessarily go up in their price, which I think is valid because they don't want to learn new styles anyway. But that's a fact. I know this barber that used to cut next to me. He'd been cutting like 20 years, and he charged less than me. And, I mean, we had about the same amount of clients. One thing that he did and I didn't, I utilized social media. He didn't at all. I don't think he's ever posted. And so I'm getting new clients that are paying more, and he's staying with that old clientele that he's had probably for 10 plus years with a new client here or there from a referral here or there, and charging probably $25 a cut. But that's a huge difference between old school and new school is honestly social media and styles. And, old school barbers got to get with it to make that money. I wanted to do another one, which was, I didn't think it would go off like it did, but someone asked me to recommend barber schools here in San Antonio. So I wanted to do a part 2 to that. So for me, best barber schools in San Antonio, part 2. One, I want to finish off with saying Game Changers again. Make sure my editor puts the right pictures for what Game Changers was. Game Changer School coming soon. Shout out to them. Also, Dapper G's. Also, I said Dapper G's already. I'll make sure she edits that out. Also, Deluxe Barber College. Alamo City Barber College is having a expo next month or in a couple weeks. Alamo City Barber College, Tonsor Academy. If I'm forgetting any, I'm sorry, but shout out to those barber schools. Oh, and Williams Barber College. I've never been there and don't know anything about it, but I can say that's probably one of the oldest OG barber colleges in San Antonio for sure. What's one thing you would say to yourself when you first got started? Haters gonna hate, ain'ters gonna ain't. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I get this question like 30 times every live, and I don't know. I think I've answered it like 30 times on different reels. So go scroll through all my reels, and that question's answered for you at some point in all my reels. And also, obviously, everything's repeated. So barber school part 2, card provider, people buy, old school, new school. Okay, another thing, huge debate on my reel that was saying barbers will get discouraged if they're promoting for your shop and you're not promoting for your shop as an owner. And a lot of owners were saying if the barbers are booth rent, they should not have to promote at all. You're your own business. You promote your own business. All they're doing is giving you a spot to chill in. And if you want promotion and walk-ins, you go to commission or hourly. I completely agree, but also just in the sense of business in general, why would you not promote your small business? I don't care what the employees pay concept is, whether it's booth rent, commission, or hourly. Why would you not promote your small business? You opened a business. You opened a storefront. Fucking promote it. That's all I was saying. So it doesn't matter if it's booth rent, commission, or hourly. I believe you should promote your small business. And this is for anything. This is for anybody doing independent contractors, not just barbering. I believe every small business should promote and should have a marketing budget for their business. If you feel you don't have to spend 1 cent or do one bit of marketing just because your barbers are paying booth rent, that's on you, bro. What's the best LA barber you know? My favorite LA barber is Vince the Barber. That fool is crispy, cuts super smooth, clean. He's a celebrity barber. I only also say that because that's like all that really comes to my mind when you think of a barber in LA is my dog Vince. Also, I don't know if he's in LA. I don't think he is. I think he's on the East Coast, but I really like Steak Cake too. That dude's like an OG. Steak Cake cuts Jay-Z, Pharrell. That fool's an OG. 3 barbers I really just that are OGs that don't do a whole bunch of social media but are just goats. Rich the Barber, Vince the Barber, and Steak Cake. Like those 3 are super dope that I really like. 2 of them are, well, I think all 3 of them are celebrity barbers, but they're just OGs, man, and they just be on their own tip, their own mainstream hustle. All right, and then let's see. Ooh, y'all seen any controversial comments on my videos? And y'all could go look right now and then come back in and tell me if I should respond to some comment on there. But I don't want to X out of here. Go look at the comments. But I know I get a lot of debate. I should be writing this shit down, but it's a lot, especially when you post like me and get a bunch of comments. But yeah, it's really crazy how much like negative thing. It's crazy. A lot of the negative feedback any barber influencer gets, I put it in parentheses because another misconception is just because I'm up on this mic posting on social media content, people like to think that I in some way think I'm superior to the next barber that doesn't post social media content or doesn't have a following. Only thing I'm doing right here is talking to y'all on my live, answering y'all's questions, giving my opinion out here in the barbering community. And it's crazy because the people who get the most upset, and this is experience and facts, old school ass barbers, bro, stuck in their ways, or somebody that doesn't want to do more. It's like, how dare this barber telling other barbers to do more? How dare this barber telling barbershop owners to do more? How dare? And it's like, bro, every time it always ends up being old school ass barbers, bro. So there's definitely an old versus new type of thing. So it's really weird because I don't know. But a huge thing to social media when you're creating content, don't get discouraged by negativity and hate because it is full blown. And it's crazy because people comment negative bullshit on my stuff all the time. And I laugh at it. Like if it was them commenting that to somebody else, or even like it's funny, even if they're roasting me, right? But even if I see somebody else's video and it's like influencer homie and then someone says something negative on it, Yo, that shit cracks me up so bad. Like negative comments. So I can see, I honestly, if you go look at all my pages, TikTok, Instagram, anything, I leave every negative comment up because one, y'all might laugh at it. Two, it's engagement. And three, if it's super negative to the point where they're like literally trying to tear somebody down, it's just going to like make them look like shit if y'all read that. Like, damn, that person's salty for no reason or whatever. But, huge tip on making content. That's going to be your hardest thing to get over. My close friend recently, she went viral. It wasn't even on her page. It was on another person's page, but she was doing a podcast with them. And she went viral for a small quote. Dude, she couldn't stop going on the comments and, you know, that stuff. Go viral one time. See how them comments fuck with you as a barber. Like, not even just as a barber. Like I said, she's not a barber. She's in another field. But she said, I don't want to be on social media. I don't want to be on Instagram. I don't want to be on any of that because I wouldn't be able to handle all that negativity of, you know, comments and stuff like that. And that's every day for me. Yesterday, I was out because I have someone post for me on TikTok and YouTube. So yesterday I was out on vacation I was out on vacation or whatever. I wake up the next morning, I open my TikTok because I hadn't looked at it. I had a video that had like 400,000 views and I didn't even know it got posted from the day before. Bro, them comments roasting me, right? Half of them. And it's just going in. I think it might have been the one, I don't even know, but just talking shit. And it's like, bro, but I can't even go through anything, so it's all good. Hey, shout out my dog, 3 Clips. My dog, 3 Clips, is a real one. Y'all go follow him. I'm going to pin his comment because I want y'all to go follow him. I just pinned his last comment. That's my dog right there. You know, hungry, and going out of his way to network, making his way out to events, and just a super positive, you know, barber. And it's just so refreshing to meet. I got to meet him at the CT Barber Expo. He came up to me, told me, you know, he watches all my content and stuff, which obviously he does. Thanks so much, bro, for always engaging. But it was amazing to meet him. Breath of fresh air, positive, you know, person. And I want all you, I mean, it's just a few people on here, but just make sure you go follow my dog, 3 Clips. He's a good guy, barber on the come up, posting content, and has a really positive attitude. I'm excited to see what he does in the future, my dog. Let's go. I got like 10 minutes left. Oh, my dog said I'm the Kobe of the bar. I gotta, hey, Pedro, you see this comment right here, dog? Woo! My dog said I'm the Kobe of the barber game. Let's go. That ain't nobody else I'd rather be. Well, I don't know. I don't want. Never mind. All right, got like 10 minutes left. Let's see if I could touch on some other things. My dog Eric Morgan in the building. Y'all go follow Eric Morgan. All right, let's see. Barber schools. People buy from people they like. Oh yeah, I could talk about this for the next 10 minutes. Let's go. How long should an average cut take? An average haircut, whether it be a skin fade or a one on the side, it doesn't matter. Average cut time should be 20 minutes to 30 minutes. That's an average cut time. Any barber saying that is rushing is out of their fucking minds, okay? Y'all need to learn to dish out quality in an efficient amount of time. And everybody always says quality over quantity. Quality over quantity. That's a great excuse to be fucking slow, okay? Being fast does not equate to bad quality. It just doesn't. People move with a sense of urgency. People get a system down. And that's just what it is. when you do something repetitively, you're going to learn how to do it faster. There's a million things on this. There's a million different videos about this in any field that once you do something repetitively, you're an expert in that field, you're going to get it done a lot faster over time. When you do something for, especially I can't stand barbers 10 years. You ain't got your haircut times from an hour or 45 minutes to 20 or 30 in 10 years. You can't shave off 10, 20 minutes in 10 years of cutting hair. Come on, get with the shits. Also, I don't know. You'll see, also, the thing is, you'll see barbers charging $100 for a haircut. But when you go to their schedule, that time next to their haircut says an hour and a half. So in reality, what are they making? $66 an hour? So that's crazy, bro. Imagine somebody in your chair for an hour and a half. Come on, that's crazy. Quantity over quality gives you more experience, better your skills, and make your cuts faster. Facts. Also, we can go on to say this. My dog, quality over quantity, he has a barbershop. He won Best Barber in Texas last year. But guess what? Just because he's saying that, motherfucker ain't taking an hour for haircuts, because he wouldn't have been able to win Best Barber in Texas in 30 minutes if he was taking an hour on haircuts. So stop with that line and stop with that excuse so y'all could be slow. Come on. Get your shit together and fucking cut hair in a timely manner. It's crazy. I mean, the amount of clients I've had come in my chair and say, you know, I went to this guy, he was all right, but I was in that fucking chair for like an hour. I got things to do. Everybody has things to do. Nobody wants to sit in the barbershop the whole time. And if they do want to sit in the barbershop for a long time, you make a service for that. If they want the hot towel, if they want the whole full experience, make a service for that and, you know, charge what you want. Also, another thing that been going crazy lately. This shit been going, I gotta tell y'all this story. I'm gonna tell y'all this story real quick. Other day I had a carpet cleaner come to my house. I had a carpet cleaner come clean my carpets. When he got there, he was like, oh, you know, what do you do for a living? I was like, oh, I'm a barber. First thing this guy says, man, barbers been crazy with their prices lately. Blah, blah, blah. They've been charging a lot. And he starts talking about barbers charging a lot for prices. He said, man, barbers charge like $40, $50 nowadays. I remember when a cut used to be $25. And then he proceeded to charge me the most I've ever been charged for a carpet cleaning in my entire fucking life. I'm like, bro, you just said we charge a lot. Motherfucker, you charge a lot. I remember when 3 rooms used to be $99.99. 3 rooms cleaned and carpet clean. The fuck? And you talking about, you remember when barbers were $25? Okay, everything's gone up. Everything. I remember when I used to pay $25. Actually, I used to be a landscaper. And I remember $25 a yard, $30 a yard. $35 was taxed to get your front and backyard done. Now, if I hit up fucking 10 landscapers, they're going to try to charge me $60 for my front and backyard, which is literally tiny. Probably takes 30 minutes. Am I going to complain? No, I've never complained about landscaping prices. I never complained about carpet clean prices. Never when I get a service from a business do I say, damn, I remember when this used to be this price. Because everything's gone up. That's just life. But why is it so focused on barbers? Because I never hear the barbers who are charging a lot, I never hear them saying anything about their prices. I never hear the clients that go to the barbers who are charging these prices saying anything. I only always hear people who can't afford a barber who has a certain price talking shit, which is so weird, because even then there was an article on some stupid ass page in Corpus Christi that said, made a big old deal about my homie Jay charging $60 a cut, and it's saying that barbers are price gouging. Bro, there is no price gouging on anything. This is not fucking insulin. It's not like people need this. If you can't afford a barber that charges $50 or up, Go to fucking Greg Clips. Go to Supercuts. Go to Sports Clips. There are so many affordable fucking places in this world. Shut the fuck up about barbers charging what they charge. We charge it for a reason. We still have clients for a reason. Like, why are people so worried about what a barber is making? I never seen so much focused attention on one field about prices. Nobody says, damn, I remember when I could get a videographer for fucking $100 for a whole day to do a shoot, and now a videographer's charging $300 to $500. It's like, bro, shut the fuck up. Nobody cares. Nobody. So all y'all need to shut up and stop worrying about what barbers are charging. And then the general public is gonna see this video from me and comment, because all you share and all you talk about is barbers raising their prices. Yes, because I'm preaching to barbers. That's my following. If it's popping up on your page, then if it don't apply, let it fly, homie. Get the fuck on. We're preaching to barbers about how and when to raise your prices as a barber. This is something that every barber faces at some point in their career, and sometimes multiple times in their career. So when we preach this, no matter how barbers intake it, yes, there's barbers that are unlicensed and suck at cutting hair that are charging $60, $100 a cut. That happens. It's your own problem to do your own due diligence and stay within your own budget. But other than that, shut the fuck up talking about how much barbers charge. Who gives a fuck? If you can't afford it, move on. Get the fuck on. Pocket watching. All right, and that rant took up my 10 minutes, yo. But yo, fuck people talking about how much barbers charge. That is the weirdest thing. Also, I could go on to something else. This is just in the last week. My other client came in. I think I told him about how that article was making a big deal about how much that barber charges, which is the same price as what I charge. And he said, yeah, I was in Vegas, and the guy next to me said, damn, that's a clean cut. Where'd you get it from? And he said, I'm from San Antonio. And he said, how much did your barber charge you for that? And he told him 60. And he said, man, I only paid 35, blah, blah, blah. Barber's price gouging. And I guess the guy's wife proceeded to tell him, well, that's why nobody's complimenting your cut, bro. You know what I'm saying? So you obviously complimented this cut of this random stranger. So obviously it was worth enough that, and this guy always gets compliments on his cut. Bro, that's why you sit here with no compliments, with a messed up edge up. Shut up with your $35 cut. Whatever's worth it to whoever is what it is. And so all that to say nothing, man. Just shut the fuck up. All right, that's my time for today, folks. I'm unfortunately not going to the Vegas Barber Expo because I will be an honorary VIP at the amazing Wholesaling Live Sub 2.0 here in San Antonio, Texas at the Marriott downtown. It's going to be an amazing event where they show you step by step how to wholesale real estate. And also they're going to teach you how to get a house subject to the existing mortgage. And you're basically just taking over somebody's mortgage. You can't pay it anymore. And then boom, get that house, own the deed, and you have no loans under your name. Anyways, that was a little complicated that y'all probably don't understand. But Wholesaling Live Sub 2.0 is going to be on September 16th and 17th here in San Antonio, Texas at the Marriott downtown San Antonio. It's going to be an amazing event. And if you ever had any interest in wholesaling real estate, this is the best event to go to, because not only are they going to teach you, which all these seminars teach you the basics, but they're going to actually be live cold calling with you, showing you how to get sellers, and giving you hot leads and helping you lock in deals live with experienced people helping you hands-on do this. It's fucking dope, and you don't want to miss it. Wholesaling Live Sub 2.0, September 16th and 17th here in San Antonio, Texas. Brought to you by my dog. Turn up the hustle. And Uncle Charles, let's go. HBHS. Also, Tipton Law Firm, proud sponsor. All right. Hey, thanks so much for tuning in. 3 clips. I'll see you later, bro. Thanks so much for tuning in, engaging. I'll see y'all later. Thanks for listening to me talk all the time. And I'm tired of hearing my voice. I'll see y'all later. Dang. $15 from Badgers?